ॐ शिवाय शान्ताय निश्चलाय यशस्विने जगद्बीजाय श्रेष्ठाय तस्मै वीर्यात्मने नमः। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। हरि ओम। Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Hinduism in Focus. We are discoursing on the glories of Shiva Shivraatri, and we hope that you are following. We are doing that in honor of Shivratri in this month of February, and we are encouraging you to go on the Hindu Media Facebook page and follow all the discourses. They are posted there on the Sanatan Vedic Dharma Pandit Sabha Regentry's Facebook page, on Hinduism in Detail Facebook page, and you will be able to follow all these discourses. This is, I believe, is our 8th discourse so far. I pray that we follow and we all come to grow our understanding of this great truth. In fact, the ultimate truth that Sanatan Dharma has given to us, which we are celebrating in the form of a festival called Maha Shivraatri. Yesterday we looked at a shloka from, in fact, the second shloka from Tulsidasa Balkan of his Ramayana. Today we look at the third shloka, showing you a certain aspect of this Shiva that we refer to, helping us to appreciate what we mean, how universal and at the same time how intricate is this whole idea of Shiva. And the mantra goes like this: Vandhe Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankara Rupinam Yamashrito Hi Vakropi Chandraha Sarvatra Vanyate. That Tulsi says, Vande Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankara Rupinam, that I make obeisance, I salute the eternal preceptor, the eternal teacher, Guru Shankara, who he says in the form of Shankara, Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva Tulsi is recognizing as the eternal preceptor, and I will come to explain shortly. Who he says, Yamashrito hi Vakropi, who is all wisdom. All wisdom. Now what this means to say, you see, in Sanatana Dharma, we recognize, and we have given, the sages have given, that knowledge is not limited. And why we say this? Because the ultimate knowledge is Shiva. Shiva means the existence, not the personality Shiva. That's a later expression, but it's the same source we're talking about. That knowledge is eternal. Therefore, the source from which that knowledge comes must also be eternal. It cannot not be eternal and the knowledge will be eternal. Certainly not. The laws of the universe will never countenance that. So that eternal wisdom, which is the knowledge of the self, who we are, this self, it is called, this life, this Atman, is eternal because it is self-effulgent, it is all knowledge. So it is therefore eternal. Every other thing that we call knowledge, for example, knowledge of cell phones, knowledge of a wristwatch, knowledge of construction, every field of knowledge, all of these things come and go, they have a role to play, and they will all come, do their role, and then they will go. All different forms of knowledge. But every knowledge, every form of knowledge will eventually lead to the highest level of knowledge. That highest level of knowledge is not to be known by books. Books may guide, but the teacher of who has already realized that knowledge, he holds the hands of the shishya, the student, and he takes that student to the door of that knowledge. He guides that student. But it is that student who has to make that effort to know that knowledge, to know himself. That knowledge is eternal. It is self-eternal. That knowledge is called Shiva. Now, if that knowledge is called Shiva, Tulsi then rightly says, Vande Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankara Rupinam. That I bow to that eternal preceptor, that eternal teacher of that knowledge, who is all wisdom. He himself is the knowledge. That is why when we will look at the Rudrashtakam, we will see the verse begins on this note, that he is the very embodiment of all knowledge. Veda Swarupa, all knowledge. In fact, I think in the Rudrashtakam, it tells us about the Shiva being the very embodiment of knowledge. In fact, he wears the knowledge. Whatever that knowledge is a true self, that which is Shiva, like that. And if that is the case, Tulsi says, well, then this Shiva is an eternal preceptor. That's why you see in the tradition, like monkhood, Shiva is the ultimate goal. Shivratri, you take sannyas diksha, you become a monk, and then you seek that highest knowledge. And Shiva is considered eternal guru, original teacher, because he represents that knowledge. The knowledge becomes him, and he becomes the knowledge. And we should come to know that. Vande Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankar Rupinam Yamashrito hi Vakropi Chandraha Sarvatra Vanyate. Tulsi says that, and he says, resting Chandraha Sarvatra Vanyate, resting on whose brow is a crescent moon, though crooked in shape, is universally honored. What this means to say, that in knowledge, the true light of everything gets revealed. Now the crescent moon is crooked in shape to the ordinary mind, so we can judge everything in this world, and we are good for that, the human being. The human being is judgmental. This is universal thing. And because of that, because we're judgmental, in fact we judge based on our perception of things and of people, which we have no right to. And our perceptions do wrong, we judge. But if knowledge comes and we surrender to that knowledge and we see everything in its true perspective, then we will come to know the truth. So like that, though the moon, crescent shape, crooked in shape as it were, yet it is universally adored, and it rests on Shiva's brow. What this means is very symbolic, that when we come to know the true knowledge, that which is Shiva, we come to know our true selves, then there is nothing left unknown. All our wrong perception of things, like the crooked shape of the moon and all of these things, all of it would fade away. It would cease to be. And what alone will be revealed is the light, which is Shiva. It is this light which is Shiva that we call Jyotirlinga, and there are 12 Jyotirlinga, 12 types of light symbol. See, linga means as the symbol, emblem. of Jyotir. Jyotir means light. This light refers to the same knowledge of the self. This light refers to our self, our Atman, our true nature, which is knowledge. This light refers to. And the 12 Dwar Jyotir Linga is called, the 12 Jyotirlinga located at 12 different places in Bharat or in India. They have different stories. Shiva is called a different name, like Somanatha Lingam, so like that it goes. There's one Somanath Linga there. Lord Shiva is called Somanatha, like that. Different color adore, different flowers, like different procedures of rites and rituals are done, and so there are different little bit of the traditions are all different for the different linga and so on. But there's one thing I'm coming to, that this knowledge which is Shiva is called Jyotir. It is a light which is of light, reveals the true nature of everything, and the true nature is Shiva. He himself is the light. So what can reveal him? We have to come to know that light. So Jyotirlinga, meaning that this is a symbol of the eternal light, and there are 12 of them, Jyotirlinga. And we want to know this light. We want to come to know and to realize this knowledge. We want to see everything in its true perspective. We want to see. We want to see everything rightly, as it were. So we come now. Shivratri is the opportunity which brings us to that point of worship, that point to adore, and we come and we make that offering to the Shiva Linga. As you can see on your screen, Shiva Linga, we worship, because that's supposed to be a center of light, a center of life, a center of knowledge, and our work is to connect there. And the Shivratri is the process of connecting us there. Shiva Puja and Shiva worship and Kirtana is only to bring home the light, nothing else. It is to make us imbibe in that light, to feel that, in fact, to benefit from that light. And when we become the light, we come to realize we are that same light. Then what is there to see? And I'll explain one bit further. It is so amazing and scientific. Now, we are using, for example, if you're using a lamp to see the things in a room. So you need the lamp to see the objects around you, isn't it? But if you become that lamp, what is it that you need to see? Nothing. It means every other thing doesn't matter anymore. You yourself are the light. You don't need to see. So in the same way, Shiva is a supreme light, Jyotirlinga. He is supreme teacher, Guru Shankara Rupinam. And therefore, when we come to know Shiva, to know the light, there is nothing else left to be known. It is the ultimate attainment. And that attainment is celebrated as a festival. It's called Shiva Puja, Maha Shivratri. That's why it's called Maha, because it is the great night of that light. The great night of the manifestation, the spread of that light. That's called Maha Shivratri. Tomorrow, when we meet, we will pick up from this point. Until then, may grace of Mahadeva be with all of us. Om Namah Shivaya.